I'm Bob Hallmark in Longview. Let's talk about a problem that has been decades old and will always be with us in some fashion: homelessness and transients. Just about every East Texas city that you go to, you're going to spot somebody who falls into that category, either homeless or transient. It's a problem that just doesn't go away, but how to combat that problem has been a source of debate for cities all over East Texas. We may now have a new direction to go, and I'm about to tell you about 5 new task forces that have been set up by Longview Mayor Kristen Ishihara.
Thank you, Bob.
You're quite welcome. Now, first, I'm guessing, where did this idea come from, the 5 task forces?
Sure. Actually, originally, Mayor Andy Mack in 2017 had one task force dedicated to looking at and addressing homelessness. And in reviewing the successes that we saw from that and things that had evolved from that, we just decided that it was probably time to revisit that. We have a lot of wonderful nonprofit organizations and churches and individuals doing a lot. But I think the piece that the city can really help with is trying to address coordination of those services. So we've seen that happen with GLOW, our Greater Longview Optimal Wellness. We've had a lot of success because the city is kind of serving as the hub for a lot of resources that are already there, but maybe aren't, communicating as well. And so the city can really help in that area as far as I can see.
Now, on a personal level, I would probably think that, as a citizen, as a council member, and then as a mayor, you had seen it over and over again. You had seen the shelters being packed and the things of that. Did it come up in your mind that you say, you know what, we really need to come up with something that will be more progressive in addressing this? Sure.
Well, I think what's wonderful is our community members, our residents here in Longview are very interested in helping, I don't want to use the word solve, but helping address the issue. I have a number of people that reach out to me with ideas, and just kind of in a vacuum, it's a little hard to vet that idea out. So this place is doing this thing, this place is doing this thing. I've had over 75 people indicate that they're interested in serving on task forces. I've personally reached out to probably more than 25. So we've actually closed one of them due to size, being so much interest in the community already, because our community members see the need and they want to help, they want to be involved.
I was about to say that would have been one of my questions, is how many people exactly are on these task forces?
So I'm really wanting to try and allow someone who wants to serve, but we have closed the mental health and wellness group because it reached 30 members, and at some point it's just too many people to find a good solution there. So I have closed that one, and the others are still open.
Gotcha. Now, it's difficult to look at sometimes because everybody who is homeless or transient, they all have a story. Everybody has a reason why they got there. Either they lost a job, marriage fell apart, drug or alcohol abuse, things of that nature. I'm guessing that through your career, it's been difficult to just sit there and watch that happen. And,
Sure.
And I mean, from just a casual perspective, you go, how does somebody get there?
Yeah, well, I think that everybody could be there at some point in time. It's not necessarily something that someone's done. Sometimes there's other circumstances involved, of course. Some of the harder pieces are going to be substance abuse or mental health and how that kind of intersects. But at the end of the day, it's all really about building relationships with people, loving people, and spending the time to understand what it is that they need and what can help them take the next step.
Okay. Are the 5 task forces, are they task specific, should I say?
Somewhat. So each has a category that came up as ongoing needs that we know exist. So coordination would be kind of putting together our first line of responders. That's, at least from the city side, our police outreach services team, and who they might work with shelters or those feeding homeless individuals, how to coordinate that better. One is housing. There is an affordable housing need in Longview. The city has just received grant funds to do a very intensive, in-depth housing study that will help hopefully identify some things that we could do better as a city, maybe open up some grant opportunities, but we know that that's a need. So pulling people together to look at what the solutions are. Transportation. So of course, an individual to help themselves get out of poverty needs access to good transportation, to keep a stable job. So what could our system do to better help with that? And then mental health and wellness, and just looking at what services are available, because that can be a real detriment to being able to take the next step. The fifth task force is actually community engagement, and that's not directly related to homelessness, but is more about how does the city engage our residents just on a daily basis. You know, a lot of times we do a Facebook post or some sort of media share, but that doesn't hit everybody. So what could we do better to get maybe non-English speaking residents, maybe apartment individuals? How can we better engage all of our community?
Okay. You just touched on what would have been my final question, which is the ultimate goal here is very obvious, is to give those people their lives back, to give them a second chance to come back.
Sure.
And I mean, for lack of a better term, to come back from the brink and actually be productive again.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the best thing about Longview is the people that live here. And I truly know and believe that if given the opportunity and helped point in the right direction, people will help. They do want to help. They do want to see others succeed. Sometimes we just don't know what to do. So that's really the point of the task force. Help us figure out what to do so that the people that want to help can help.
And sitting on one of those task forces is the Highway 80 Rescue Mission Director, Brian Livingston. Now, Brian, I'm guessing it's about time we had something like this. And what are your thoughts now that we have established these task forces?
Well, it kind of remains to be seen what actually comes of it, if we can accomplish anything. But at least I'm happy to hear that there's an acknowledgement that there are people in our city that are experiencing homelessness, that they do need help with resources. And really the big thing these task forces are looking to do is to see how we can collaborate as nonprofits and ministries and individuals in the city to help out. Not to give handouts necessarily, but to offer a path for these individuals that are experiencing homelessness to be able to get their lives on track and get things in order so that they can experience life like the rest of us, I guess.
Right. And recovery being a big part of it.
Yes, sir.
And that's the big thing that we're talking about here. To ignore it would be to pretend that it doesn't exist. But
Right.
Unfortunately, all across this country, it does exist.
It does.
So this is a step in the right direction to say, and it might even help you reduce some of your numbers here as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's our goal here, is to help people, find employment, find some sort of income, budget that income, get on their feet. And yes, there are obstacles that none of us really have any control over. The lack of housing is a tough thing. The mental health and the lack of ability to meet those needs is huge. But the purpose of these task forces, is my understanding, is to try to bring those agencies and those organizations together to see how we can best help this population and help them get to the point where they don't have to be on the streets or in camps, but they can have a place of their own, and they can just enjoy life and all the abundance that God has for them.
Okay, so obviously this is a first step then.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, Brian, thank you so much.
Thanks, Bob.
All right, and we'll have more on this story tonight on KLTV 7 News. For KLTV Web Extra, I'm Bob Hallmark.